Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this scheduled meeting of the Vader City Council. It is Thursday, January 28th, 2021, and the time is 6:02 p.m. Roll call.
Donna Rogers. Here. Jason Daly.
Present.
Randy Hall.
Here.
Mike Parsons.
Here.
Samantha Lovelady.
Samantha did get a hold of me. She's running late for an appointment. She may show up during the meeting.
And Mayor Scheid.
I am present. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Parsons, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, Mayor's report. Wastewater treatment plant upgrades. We had the 2 pre-bid meetings this week with the contractors. We have over 15 contractors interested right now. I saw some pretty big names on the list of contractors, so it's exciting. Those bids are due February 19th from those folks. Next week, the in-person tours of our wastewater treatment plant will be happening. Originally, they had scheduled 2 different days for that, but Mr. Waddlington from Civil West thought that they have so many folks now and they want to keep them all separate that they might have 3 different days next week where they're going to be doing in-person tours for those contractors down there. So it's all good news for the city. More bids mean more opportunities for creative suggestions from these contractors, so we may find some less expensive alternatives to the construction project. So, all good things. Stormwater update. The county is scheduled to begin A and B Street repairs next week. They actually came out already and they started the asphalt cutting, and so they should start actually doing the digging next week. So we should have all those fixed.
Is that like
shortly.
right here?
Right, just to the...
I just seen some lines.
Yep, just past the fire station right there. Yeah, that culvert that goes under the road right there is slanted. It's not level. And so the water has to back up into those folks' yards up there before it finally is high enough to drain across the road. And that's caused some problems for people. And so that's going to get fixed. Park grant. The Worden Park, we received an additional $5,000 from Burlington Northern for use in conjunction with our RCO project. So that's great. It's a little bit more money to help with that project. Our park board chairman is here tonight, and she can talk more about that during special reports. All right, council reports. Any council folk have reports? Before we get into that, I see that Samantha Lovelady is online now. Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you, Joe. I'm here.
Great. A full quorum. Council reports.
Not really a report, just a question. I know that we covered it before, but back to number 1 on the wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
What's the time frame now that we're holding up some constructions?
All right. So, so I've been in contact with Ecology. I managed to get 3 more new connections out of them and those were instantly taken by Elwood Holdings for Stoke-Belt homes. Ecology was very reluctant for even those 3 more. And so realistically, it would probably be later this year. This year, yeah, late this year. Maybe probably in the fall, once we get the first samplings from the new lagoons.
Will contractors be able to start?
They absolutely could. I mean, they could absolutely purchase property and build an entire house if they wanted to, but they would have no guarantee that they'd ever have a sewer connection.
Well, until our system is up.
Right, until our system was online, and then we could issue them a permit. But that's a lot of money to put out without the guarantee of knowing when you could sell that house.
Okay.
But that would be on them to decide if that was something a risk that they were willing to take.
Okay, because the new plant should hold as many houses as we're,
Absolutely, yeah, it's rated for far greater capacity.
okay.
More council reports?
Actually, one other thing, or a couple. I started talking to the Lions Club. And these are just thoughts to throw out there for later down the year. But two things. One is there's a park in Centralia that has the drive-through Christmas lights. Okay. And as I was driving through it this year, I thought, we could do this at McMurphy. I just thought it'd be a cool thing for a McMurphy Park. So that was just a thought to throw out there. I talked to the Lions Club, and I don't know if they're going to run with it, but if somebody wants to, that'd be great.
It's a great suggestion.
The other idea that I had, because we had some money for fun stuff for the city, would be a big movie screen and doing movies at the parks. Either one of them. So, whatever everybody thinks about that, and if it gets on, great. It's just an idea that I wanted to throw out there.
Okay, great. Other council reports? Okay, hearing none. Agenda approval?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the city council agenda for 1/28/2021.
We have a motion from Mr. Daly to approve the agenda as written. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Ms. Lovelady. Discussion.
Excuse me, just
Yes.
for a second.
Yeah, discussion. Go ahead.
I want to add the manufactured home moratorium on there as item number 4.
Okay. We have a request from Ms. Rogers to add on item number 4. We do have a motion. Samantha, or no, Jason, you made the motion. Would you interested in withdrawing your motion?
Yeah, I'll withdraw my motion to approve the meeting to include the moratorium on manufactured homes.
So you withdrew your motion, and then you're making your motion again with the addition?
Yes.
Is that what you just did? Okay. Just wanted to clarify. All right. So we have a motion to approve the agenda with item number 4, manufacturing home moratorium discussion. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Parsons. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve the city council meeting minutes for January 14th, 2021.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the council meeting minutes from January 14th, 2021. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Voucher approval. I believe you all have the voucher totals in front of you. They're not on my agenda on the screen, but you should have them on your printouts.
I'll make a motion that we approve the vouchers for the end of January at $17,484.81 for a January 2021 total of $54,319.90.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the vouchers as written. Do we have a second?
A second.
Seconded by Mr. Hall. Any discussion?
I'm going to have to vote no on this. I'm not going to come into the office at this time with the COVID going around there. So I did not get a chance to sign the vouchers or look at them.
Okay. Understood. That's probably, that's understood. Any other discussion? The vouchers, maybe we could get a copy to you, Donna, so you can get a chance to look at them, because we still would like to have your signature at some point.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm leery of coming in there with everybody being exposed.
Sure. Okay. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed?
No.
All right. Motion carries. I'll make a note of that. All right, special reports. Our park board chairman, Kelly Shy, is here to talk about the park. Please.
Hey, so just a few updates and what we have going on. With McMurphy Park, we have had trees donated to the park, and Kim Jocelyn is currently coordinating the pick and location for planting that'll happen with that. We've also had one of our park board members, Mo, she's gone down there and has done a little bit of trail cleanup and everything. So pretty basic. It's winter time, so.
There's a pretty major tree that fell down there.
Yeah, we heard about that today too. Rex talked to us about it, and it sounds like he's gonna come in and talk about being able to help do cleanup and removal of that. So we just need to find out.
And again, I honestly think it'd be good to put fresh gravel down there at that park.
That was something that we had approved, and I don't know exactly what the status of that was. I think John had gone through with the new tractor
The
and
tractor
had
thing.
kind of loosened and freshened it up, but I know that we had approved and requested that was something that was done as well. So hopefully when gravel comes in, it sounds like there might be some gravel coming in.
Yeah, we'll can reassess that here in the spring before we open the gates up and get some more loads down there.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I have that on there to follow up on too. So that's what I have so far with Murphy Park. With Worden Park, the jail updates, the city will be soliciting at some point bids for contractors for the foundation and roofing estimates. We have had the USDA researching a grant from the USDA with an application process on maybe what they might be able to help give us some more funds for jail repair as well. That's under discussion right now. And then going into more grants with RCO, the big grant that we had, we're still waiting to hear back from them. They were waiting for the governor's, the whole state funding and everything getting broken down and finding out how much they were going to be getting. They just sent out some estimates that they may potentially be getting approved for. And so once they get their final numbers, sometime between February and April, they're deciding how they're going to split that money up and how much of it will be going to what grant programs from last year's applications. And sometime between April to July is when their contracts will be going out, and by July at the latest, I believe, is when they're going to be due. So we will be looking at getting a pretty nice little chunk. I think it was like just over $280, almost $300,000 from RCO for the Worden Park project. And then, as Marsha just mentioned too, we also found out this week that we received from BNSF that we were awarded $5,000 to go towards the park, and we have 1 year to utilize those funds. So we're hoping we can time that with the Worden Park project, and I'm hoping this summer that we can start working and tearing into it and everything. So we've been awarded that.
Is that $10,000 something that we could put towards the foundation of the jail?
$5,000. It's $5,000.
$5,000.
And no, it sounds like
Or is it
I just got the letter. I haven't yet. It has to go towards something that is sustainable that they feel goes towards a physical thing that they can do. That's not just maintenance and repair. That's how a lot of
Well,
grants
I
go.
can say, this is Diane. The letter that came with the check said that it is for playground equipment at Warden Park.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. Yeah, so it has to go towards the equipment. The playground equipment designer company that I've been working with from Play Creations, he actually has reached out and he said that he was putting our project in for a grant as well. He didn't say which grant or for how much, and I haven't heard anything else back from him yet on that, and that was just a handful of months ago he said that. And then I'm completing an application for approximately a $15,000 discount off of playground equipment through Kaboom. So, and that is, the caveat to that is that it is a community build grant, so they would want us to follow their community build guidelines. So they come in, they send a representative to us, and they say, okay, this is what you guys have going on. They determine how much fundraising we need, but really at this point we don't. Even if they did, it's not, a fundraiser is not going to be what's stopping us from doing this project at this point. But definitely, if they want to help us bring more money in to get more done, awesome. But then they break everybody up into teams, and they say, based on the playground that we already have designed, this is how many people you need, how many hours you need to put into it. They get their people to come in, and they put in the posts and everything, the real important stuff, yeah.
Mhm.
And then they have their guy come in still and supervise and break everybody up into teams, and they're in charge of putting whatever various pieces, playground slides and swings, and if we have some kind of mesh netting, we'll have or whatever. So, and that's something we were actually considering doing anyway, because it could potentially take another $30,000 off of our bill from by going with the community build. And supposedly we've had enough interest from a lot of people that are coming out of random board work that are reaching to me and saying, hell yeah, let us know. So fingers crossed that that'll be a success. And then the other thing is that I found out about getting another grant that we could possibly get in time for this project as well from the Cheney Foundation. And if we were able to, we're looking at anywhere up to like probably a max of $15,000 to $20,000 that we'd be able to put towards structures at the playground as well. So the playground equipment, or like if we have with the picnic shelter, maybe something nicer and beefier. So anyway, that's something that I just came across a couple days ago, and I've started that application process too. And that's really all I have right now. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions, but a comment. You're rocking it. The park board's doing good.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're trying. We're trying.
Do we do estimates on the roof of the Word Park? Not the jail, but the other
The
thing?
pavilion.
Yeah.
I think that was something that might be happening as well. Our understanding was from what John had told us maybe a few months ago that it was looking okay, but I can follow up on that if you'd like.
Okay, I just know that's something that we were planning on doing this year.
Yeah, I know that roofing was on the list of things to have estimates come out for, but I haven't heard anything officially about what the need is or how much repair may or may not need to be done with that.
Is so bad, and she's talking real fast. Your whole speaker system sucks.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, was there anything else? Any other questions or?
Nope.
All right.
I have a comment. You're doing great. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Samantha.
All right, thank you. All right, city business. Item number 1, council to consider resolution 02-2021, Civil West contract amendment number 3. So this is an amendment for additional funds for work that they've provided that was outside of the original scope of their contract. I think if I remember correctly, a lot of this has to do with the design and the NEPA related requirements that came with our community development the community development block grant. That's $750,000. It required additional federal work that wasn't originally in our contract. So, and if you remember this, this is part of our. Will be part of our 50% loan, 50% grant. So this funds, half of it will eventually have to get paid back, and the other half will be forgiven.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 02-2021 for the Civil West contract amendment number 3.
The motion by Mr. Parsons to approve resolution 02-2021. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Daly. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving resolution 02-2021, Civil West contract amendment number 3, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 on city business. Council to consider resolution 03-2021, Local Planning Solutions contract amendment number 1. So this is similar in nature. This was, once again, Gary Cooper, our city planner, needed to do work related to the NEPA regulations for the community development block grant that wasn't in his original contract. So this just expands the scope of work so that he can do that for us.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution 03-2021 for the contract amendment number 1.
We have a motion by Mr. Daly to approve resolution 03-2021, Local Planning Solutions contract amendment number 1.
I second.
Seconded by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, city business. Council does consider administrative assistant for clerk's office. So in your packet you have a job description. So the idea is, with building permits and all the other work going on in City Hall, we really need a third office employee to pick up some of the more, or the less skilled stuff. So for instance, meeting minutes, it might take Diane a couple of hours or more to go through city council meeting minutes, or listen to the audio and take appropriate minutes. Anybody can do that. So why should Diane or Stephanie do that? We should have someone that gets paid less to do that frees them up to do other work. Other basic filing needs, you can see it in the job description. And it would really free them up to do the more higher skilled stuff that it requires. So if you remember, in our city budget, we approved an additional wastewater treatment operator, so and a little bit of public works. We're not going to need that. We're not going to need to hire another person for that. So that frees up that money in the budget. At $15 an hour, 20 hours a week, an office assistant would get paid about $18,270 a year, which is $5,870 less than what we budgeted for that wastewater treatment plant second operator. So by doing this, we could have someone in the third person in the office for 20 hours a week at nearly $6,000 less than what we had in the budget for the other person. So I can say this is a need. The city does have this need for a third office employee. It's important.
Well, I question this a lot. What is it that these two women in there now aren't able to do? What is it that's going to be more skilled? And so now we're going to have a third person that isn't qualified to issue permits, because you've got all of this down here now. And apparently we have 2 people already that aren't trained enough to be able to carry out their jobs, that 2 people have been handling for years and years here.
Actually-
That's a real opinion.
One moment, Randy.
Comment.
Actually, they are very trained. They know how to do their jobs. The problem is, there's so much work to do. They're running out of time, and we're paying them a premium wage to do something that someone could get paid to do at a much less wage. Also new is the level of construction in the city right now. All the homes going in, all of the building permits, it's a constant flow of work that Stephanie is having to do, in addition to all of the sewer utility billing. So it is not the same job that it used to be. We do have more work.
Well, I don't know. I want to know why we're not going to have that other sewer operator. I thought that the one that we have now is going to be quitting in the spring. Who's going to be the operator?
That is not true. Our wastewater treatment plant operator is not going anywhere. He will be here for years to come.
And so why then we aren't going to be able to have Jesse as a backup for it if this guy goes on vacation, or what's the deal with that? Because I understand when we get our new sewer system in, it's going to be much higher qualifications to operate that one.
John already has the skills and the training to fill in for Bill when Bill is on vacation. John already does the testing. And you're correct, the new wastewater treatment plant could come with a higher level of maintenance required, but that's yet to be seen. And at this point in time, and this year in particular, it's not something that we need to worry about. Bill is perfectly capable of running our treatment plant all year long.
Well, I understood when they presented their presentation on that it was going to be a much higher skill level than what there is now because of the difference in the operating of it.
There will be some training that comes along with it, but it's nothing that Bill can't handle. And in fact, Bill's ran systems larger than ours in his previous jobs, which is why he has this job now. He's highly experienced with industrial systems.
No. Well, what experience does he have? Where did he come from, and what system did he operate?
He ran a large operation for Weyerhaeuser down in the Longview area at one of their mills.
Their sewer system? Is that what you're
So
saying?
wastewater treatment. They had wastewater treatment. I don't think this is really relevant to the discussion at hand right now. The point is, we don't need another wastewater treatment operator at this time, or in the foreseeable future. And so this money is free in the budget, but we do need an office assistant to pick up some of these lower skilled tasks.
Well, according to this, you've got them doing, this person will be doing all of the tasks that our current office personnel are doing. So I want to know what higher skill tasks are our office personnel going to be doing while this other person does all these really low skilled things that should be really, really easy to do then if they're so low skilled. So I want to, I don't see a need for this myself, but we're trading off a sewer operator for office personnel.
Diane, did you have something that you'd like to say?
Does this need a motion? I'd like to make a motion that we approve the administrative assistance for the clerk's office.
I second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Parsons to approve the administrative assistant position for the clerk's office, and we also have a second by Mr. Hall for that motion further discussion? Diane, would you like to speak of the need for this?
Sure. Since I have started working, we've asked for volunteers to come in and help us. And actually, Donna actually did come in and help us once my daughter came in. But the work that we're talking about, the filing, for all the resolutions, everything that we pass in a meeting, all of those things have to be filed, documented, scanned, everything. All that kind of work has to be put away. Right now, we're so excited about all these grants, but those grants require a lot of paperwork, a lot of follow through, and so that's what I'm spending a lot of time on. And he's already talked about the building permits and all of that that's required. So we do have training in special areas, especially for me, the treasurer. I want that to be done correctly. I'm very conscientious about that. We can't just hand that off to someone new that comes in. Stephanie has great skills with those building permits that she's learned over these months. She can't just hand that off to a new person. So those things are very important that they get done. And so it would be easy to have a new person come and help us so that we don't have piles of paperwork, piling up that need to be filed while we're trying to face forward with that dragging us back. So if we could do that, we would greatly appreciate it.
I'm convinced. Let's call for a vote.
Thank you, Diane. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the administrative assistant for the clerk's office, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
All right, I hear 4-1. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4 on the city business, manufacturing home discussion. I believe this centers around probably what the planning committee talked about last week. I'm at their meeting. That was going to be one of the things that they had talked to city council about. We didn't have a report here tonight, but I'll open it up to the council members for that discussion.
Well, my concern here is the type of manufactured homes that we're getting in here. I want to see some design standards put on these things before we just get the cheapest ones that are brought in here and set. And then I think we should have at least put driveways in and porches and things like that to make them look like something decent instead of a square box sitting there. So I would like seriously to have some design standards on these before we start issuing more permits for manufactured homes.
I've been trying to think of like how we would lessen the flow of manufactured homes. Like what? I mean,
I'm not saying to lessen the manufactured homes at all. We can't stop them. There's no way to stop them. But you can require design standards.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out how the wording.
Well, the manufactured homes do have a state and county approval. So we want to make sure that the ones go in have that. There's a certification on the home.
Yeah.
So we should have an inspector check for that to make sure they're not bringing in some second rate thing that didn't pass inspection and some contractors slide them in. So yeah, that I agree.
I see that point, but I also see the ratio between manufactured homes and stick-built homes. And we're very heavily on the manufactured side. And,
Well, not so much anymore.
well, still, yeah, I mean, there's
Well, and we discussed changing the fee structure and having state and county approval stamps on the home. Whether you can dictate driveways and whatnot, I'm not sure that we can do that. There are some very nice looking homes around, and there's some trashy ones. So, having said that, that's a difficult line to hold.
I have been talking to Gary Cooper, our city planner, about this. I had several questions for him. I didn't have a presentation yet for the council. He says that a city cannot outright ban manufactured housing.
No, we cannot.
So,
You
yep.
cannot restrict manufactured housing, so.
You can't do that.
No, not at all. I've looked this, I looked this up, and, yeah, they absolutely cannot be stopped. It doesn't matter if the whole community gets filled with manufactured homes. The only thing that we can do is we can put design standards on them. Like we can make them put porches on them. We can make them put driveways in. We can make the property look decent and make the mobile home look decent, or I should say manufactured home, but we cannot stop them.
Right. Yeah. So I was still
Yeah.
working on getting that information, something to present to council as well. But
right
Well,
now-
I'd like to see the moratorium at least for 90 days until we get a handle on this, because otherwise, I don't know if they're still, like you were saying, whether they're still able to buy the permits. If they buy the permit, then we have no control over them, what's coming in now. So we don't,
I don't think there's sewer
if we-
rules for anybody else.
that is correct right now. We've exhausted the new connections that the city has the ability of handing out right now. So if someone did come into the city, sure, they could put a manufactured home in there, but they would not be able to connect to the sewer without a permit, and so they'd just be sitting on that house for an indefinite amount of time until a sewer hookup became available. Now they could do that,
Right.
yes, but is that
In
an
the
investment
meantime-
that a developer would want? Probably not. But I mean, we could absolutely have a moratorium if that's something that we do. We could have we could get something like that set up. It would cost a little bit of money, obviously, but not too much probably. But I don't see a big flood of manufactured homes right now, just because there's no way to hook them up.
right, but that doesn't mean that they can't buy the permit for them. And if they get the permits for them before we get design standards, then we're going to wind up with those junky looking boxy things that come in here. So I'm just saying, can we just put 90 days on there until we can get some design standards?
Okay. Is that what the council
Done.
wants? If that's what we want, I'll get it all drafted up and I'll have it ready. I'll have it ready at the next council meeting.
I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, because I don't think.
I don't see a
they're
problem
gonna
with it.
Okay.
buy it. Yeah.
It'll be on the agenda at the next meeting.
Okay, so do we need to vote on this? Yes.
No. You'll vote. It'll be an ordinance, I believe, that you'll vote on next meeting.
Okay. All right, thank you.
And then hopefully I'll have some more information as far as design standards and options for you at that time too. So we can make that a priority.
I agree with the main premise. I'm just not sure how to go about it.
Okay. Any other discussion on this topic? All right, hearing none. Moving on to public comment. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak? I see a couple of folks on the calls. Anyone on the phones that would like to speak? All right, hearing none. Elected. Oh,
I have a question.
can you come up here, Kathy? State your name so everyone online would know who you are, please.
Kathy Hall, 705 10th. I was just wondering, how expensive is it to put streetlights in? Mike, you've been up and down E. Other than the one that's on 10th and E, are there any streetlights the rest of the way? I mean, it looks pretty damn dark down there.
I don't recall. I know that there's one down F Street,
Yeah.
but I don't know what's down E Street.
There's one on the corner of 9th and E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right by the water.
But I get what she's saying. She's saying it's awful dark around.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
it
I
really
think in
is.
wintertime, I just wondered how
I think-
expensive it is.
Yeah,
to put a
it's
couple-
light, it's better now than it PG cleared it, but the probably, because of dumping and things that happened in the past, maybe a street light might be called for.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it would cost to install a new one. For all I know, PV
Plus,
might.
the one
Thousands and
on Ninth
thousands
and,
of dollars.
the one on Ninth and, D is
Oh,
going
yeah.
out.
And that was just a phone call.
Yeah,
That's a phone call to
Partway
fix
down,
that.
there's already a pole there.
yeah.
But then,
There was a pole for it, so.
but then if you go to like to the corner, so you have like.
So this is on E and what is there an
Well,
intersection there?
Well,
Tenth.
E and
10th and
10th.
E has a light, it's.
Not
That's
10th
the
and
way
E, but in
down.
the middle of 10th, between 10th, E and F.
Park,
No,
no, down E,
E Street to
down
Park.
E Street to Park.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Go down
Between
there,
10th and Park.
Yeah, that would be more important than the
There's-
one I'm talking about.
yeah.
Between Town and Park? Yeah, we can research that and see.
Yeah, I was
See
just
what it is.
curious, because it's,
Might consider one on 10th too, between E and
well,
F.
there's one there.
I want one in my house too.
Yeah,
I remember at my house, and you saw what happened.
You can take the one that's by my house.
It is dark. I walked to your house before, Kathy, and it's dark down there.
yeah,
So between 10th and Park, and maybe on 10th itself.
yeah. It is darker. It's better now they cleared the trees, but still,
Well, it's just I looked down E Street, yeah.
yeah, old
People
dark
that live
30.
down there, you know.
Yeah, we already, I mean, the sheriff's office probably already, it goes down quite a bit, but
Yeah,
it'd be nice if they could see.
yeah. Okay, I can take a look at that and see what it is.
Thank you.
If it's not too prohibitive, we'll see what we can do. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none. Elected official comments. Elected officials?
Not really a comment, but along those lines of streetlights, I know that a couple years ago we were talking about LED lighting. Has anything ever?
No.
It would save some money.
And a lot of times you get like the
PUD.
kickback kind of stuff. They help you put in that kind of stuff or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah, there was some weird thing that they're not our
these
lights.
kind of
that-
lights would be, they can place all these.
We can
Yeah.
research that.
But the city has to pay it
Yeah.
Do I have an email about that? Yeah, so the LED light thing. So the TIB, so I can talk to that. So the TIB, who we've gotten a lot of street grants through, they also have lighting, a lighting program for grants. And the reason why they do that is because cities, the money that cities pay for street lights, the electricity, comes out of the street budget. So their idea is that if they help cities replace their expensive lighting with cheaper lighting, it gives the cities more money to spend on roads.
Yeah.
So that's the logic behind it. And so they've worked with a lot of cities. Well, it's not really the city so much as it is the local power company, because the power company is who ultimately comes out and replaces them. So TIB works with the power company. The power company comes out, swaps them all out, and then they charge you half as much or something like that for electricity. The problem has been our local PUD. Our local PUD hasn't really been interested in working with TIB on this program. I don't know why, but they haven't. That's what TIB told me last time I talked to them. So that's the holdup. Not us and wanting to do it, but our local PUD and their willingness to work with TIB on it. So I can follow up with them again.
Yeah, maybe with just another phone call, just
Things
maybe
change.
there's a new person in there. or something.
Things change. Your PUD commissioners, they're elected officials, right? They get elected. So there could be some pressure that could probably be put on them for that. And for all we know, there's new people in there that don't even know about the program. So thank you for the reminder, and I'll start poking some folks and rattling some cages and see what we can get done.
That's all.
Other elected official comments? Okay, hearing none. This meeting is adjourned at 6:47 p.m.
Yay.
Good night, everybody.
Down to the park.
Good